Welcome to the events series practice sheet. So, a lot of people have been asking for practice sheets or exercises to do. So, what I'm doing here is providing you with a very good example of what may be requested of you as an Excel VBA programmer. So, one of the most common things that happens is for whatever reason, a sheet is not allowed to be protected. So the formulas are vulnerable. So, for example, the total price would commonly have equals this cell times this cell. The quantity times the cost equals the total price. And let's just pretend that we're having problems with silly people accidentally typing over it and ruining your formulas. To resolve that, here comes the Excel VBA programmer of the office, aka you. So, what we're going to work on, we have a to-do list. The first thing we're going to do, I want to introduce you to my items sheet. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is the sheet called items. I have an automatic table that will expand as new items are entered. And the way I do that, I will leave in, I'm not going to leave you completely alone here. So I have an offset function that you can study that, and you can see how we did that to get our items list, and we also have an items table. I'll hover over that as well. This will expand as you add new items, so the table will always be done for you. You don't have to worry about that part. The table, using data validation, is put on these in cell or in column A rather. So that list of items is available to you. The exercise that we're going to do, the first thing we need to do is a VLOOKUP using VBA from the item table that I just showed you to get the cost whenever items are selected from A2 through A21. So whenever a selection is made, for example, I'm going to click here, and if I select tennis shoes, then the cost associated with tennis shoes is automatically going to pop up there. And then as a bonus, you may have noticed I automatically had it select the cell B2. So not only when I click on fishhooks, as it put the VLOOKUP cost of 20 here, it also will tab over or select cell B2 using an offset function. The second thing we need to do, if the quantity or the cost has changed, so if I type in here or if I type in here, then the total price obviously needs to be updated. So the quantity times cost, and whatever the result of that should go into column D whenever that event is triggered. So these are change events that we're talking about here. You select something different, that's a change event. You type in here and hit tab or enter or click away, that's a change event. So that's just a little hint for you. Step 3, we're going to add code to the user form that I've added called add item. And you'll see that I want you to click on the OK button and the cancel button. And whenever that happens, so 3A, if the OK button is pressed, that is going to grab the next row on the item sheet, and it's going to put the text box information on that row and then hide the user form. It'll look like this. So I'm going to click on add item. This user form will pop up for you, and you can type in a description. So we'll call it fuzzy slippers, and the price is going to be obviously $100. I'm going to hit OK. And you notice the user form hid itself. But if we click over on items, we now have a new item called fuzzy slippers and 100. Now whether or not the item sheet was hidden or not, it doesn't matter. The code will still work. Now you may notice that when I click the drop down, it has updated itself because the table is dynamic. So fuzzy slippers is now available here. Let's go ahead and click on that, and sure enough, 100 is typed in there. 3B is simply if the cancel button is pressed, that just hides the user form, which you've already will have figured out if you've completed 3A, the OK button. Step 4 is to put a procedure in place to open the user form on the blue add item button on the sheet. So this add item sheet right here, simply put a macro and attach it to this button that says to open that user form so that it'll keep opening. Okay. All right. Just to show you an example of this, I didn't show you this step. This is step 2. If the quantity or cost has changed, it'll update the total price. So let's say we were ordering one of these. If I tab away, then this automatically is updated. And as a bonus, you may have noticed, as soon as I type in here or here, it will automatically take me to the next line and select the next line in column A. So just to help you if you're doing a lot of data entry, 10.25, and automatically put me there. Now the same thing will happen if I change this. Okay, it updates the total price. Now if I click on total price, that's not a function, that's not a formula. This is the actual value. Okay, on to the bonus questions. If you feel really frisky and you want to continue working on this and do some extra projects just for more practice, then the first one is, if a multiple cells are selected and then you click the delete key, resolve the error that occurs. I've already resolved it in my demo, but if I selected all 4 of these and hit clear or hit the delete key, normally an error would pop up because it doesn't really know which cell change or column change that you're wanting to work on, so it freaks out and gives you an error. There's a way to resolve that. I will review that in a later video, but if you can figure it out on your own, bonus and kudos to you. Big pat on the back. Bonus B, if an item in column A is deleted, resolve the error that occurs there. So I've already resolved it again in this. So if you don't have anything to do a VLOOKUP on, if I click delete, the VLOOKUP will typically have an error if you're looking up the value and the value is nothing. So resolve that in whatever way you can figure out to do. So that is the gist of this events exercise. You can download this workbook. I'm going to give you the fresh, clean workbook that you can work on, and then I'm going to make the fully coded out version that you've just seen the demonstration available to you if you want to take a peek. I don't consider that cheating at all. I consider that if you're struggling, it's always good to, have the tools available to you to look at the answers and to save yourself time. It's really more efficient that way. If you have questions, as always, please hit us up in the forum. We are happy to help. We want to make sure that you are growing and you have all the tools that you need. Until next time, thanks for watching.